Hey everybody, how's it going? Travel Man Dan here, and get ready for an amazing episode as I'm here in Vilnius, Lithuania, and today's episode we're gonna go ahead and walk down that street. Yep, that's right, we're gonna go explore Old Town Vilnius. Yeah, this is gonna be awesome. So sit back, relax, and I'm gonna take you down that street called Peel Street, and we're gonna go check out all the cool architecture, all the cool places, all the neat churches, and well, it's just gonna be a great episode. Old Town Vilnius is one of the oldest medieval towns in Europe, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna go down the streets, up and down the lanes, check out the homes, see what's going on inside, and explore this really cool old medieval town. So sit back, relax, and get ready for a great episode. Let's go check it out. Now, one of the main entrances, the main gateways to Old Town is this street here, Peel Street. And well, if you whip around, I'll go ahead. That is Cathedral Square, and it is right across from Cathedral Square. You can go ahead and walk in, and right away you're going to notice the stone roads. It's really cool, and you're going to get a chance to see all these amazing buildings. Now they've all been converted into, well, restaurants or hotels, but it's just really cool to see. One of the great things that you're going to see here at Vilnius Old Town is, well, the great styles of Europe's most famous architecture. You're going to go ahead and you're going to see some of the buildings are going to be Renaissance, they're going to be Gothic, they're going to be Baroque, and Neoclassical. And it's a really cool and interesting thing to see them all blended together, sometimes even side by side. You're going to see tons of churches as well. This old town is loaded with different styles of churches. So let's go keep walking around and I'll show you a little bit of them. Like, take a look at this interesting building. Check it out. It's actually an art gallery, but it kind of reminds me, look at those windows and the rooftops. It kind of reminds me of the Jim Henson building in Hollywood. It's pretty cool. Even over here, you got the stones. I'm not sure if that has any significance, whether it's the year that it was made or whatnot, but just a really interesting, unique building. All different shapes of windows, awnings, chimneys, really cool. Old Town is stacked with cafes that are up and down this main central walkway. And well, you can come here and you can have a coffee, a meal, a traditional Lithuanian meal if you want. And yeah, it's quite bustling at night with bars and lots of people having fun from all over the world. And I mean, check this out. Look at this massive church. Like most of these old towns here in Europe, you have all these really cool like alleys and streets that kind of go off to the side, and they're really narrow and they're interesting, and there's all kinds of little coffee shops and bars alongside them. We are on the main street. I mean, just take a look at the top of that church. Are you freaking kidding me? Look how beautiful that is. All right, it's time to make a little move and we'll head down this street over here. It looks pretty cool. But once again, as you can see, Old Town is surrounded by beautiful churches, and just about on every corner of every street you'll walk into something like beautiful like this. I'm not even sure if this is a church or what it is, but it's just a giant tower. All right, so we decided to go down this street right here, and if you can see these people whizzing by me on scooters, that is an option of transportation here. Lithuania does have the app where you can go ahead and download it, and you can just kind of tag and beep, open up one of the scooters and just freely roam around the city using a scooter. But if you're not using a scooter, I suggest you be careful because they do fly around and you don't want to get hit. Oh man, look at this. I mean, this is just absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I mean, you gotta love this old town. It's every street offers something new, something different, but around every corner that you can see is some kind of, well, cathedral tower, whether it be Gothic, whether it be Neoclassical, and it just pokes its top part out around each bend of each street and really gives this city its beauty. I mean, Old Town Vilnius is one of the most marvelous places because of the architecture and the things going on around it. But yeah, look at this. I mean, we can only imitate this style when we go to Rodeo Drive and we go ahead and we put some of these fancy shops up. That is the real deal. That is like some 15th century housing, building, architecture where people really lived and yeah, still continue to live there this day. That would be amazing. Yeah, I don't know if there's a right or wrong way to kind of explore Old Town, but just hit Old Town and start walking, make a couple rights, make a couple lefts, and you're gonna see some amazing stuff going on here. I'm gonna go ahead and cross the street, so I gotta be careful, but look at some of these buildings. And that is the church bells. That is an awesome sound. It is the morning time, so they maybe are having some type of mass. Listen to the sounds of these church bells. Coming from that tower up there, you can just hear the vibrations and echoes throughout these narrow streets as the sound of these harmonious bells are bouncing around and really brightening everybody's mood. And nestled within this old town, you find a bit of the new town as, well, you just kind of walk up. Check this one out. The Meat Lovers Pub. Sounds like a Food Friday for Travel Man Dan. But yeah, just a really cool mixture of old school construction and 15th century buildings mixed in there with modern day restaurants, gastropubs, and little cafes. Check out this building right there. It says 1919. That building's 100 years old. If that gives you any indication, some of these buildings and surrounding churches and stuff like that are, well, they're almost 500 years old. Yep, so you just go ahead and you make another turn and then you walk upon another beautiful church. Look at this guy. Holy cow. This is awesome. And I'm just standing in this little park that's kind of in the middle or kind of on the outskirts of the old town, but just take a look at this. And you can see over here they have like a cafe, so you can come here and you can eat or drink, and then you can have this beautiful backdrop of this awesome church right here. Look at this. Isn't that beautiful? Man, I am just in awe at how marvelous these buildings are. I mean, you know what else is marvelous in this country? Not only the architecture, the building, the food, but the women. And that goes for the whole Baltic region. The women in Latvia, Lithuania, and probably Estonia are absolutely stunning. I mean, gorgeous girls here. So, you know, don't be afraid to slide into them DMs. Kidding. All right, back on the main road. It's about an hour later and you can feel it getting a little busier on this street as throughout the day more and more people come out, explore the area, the vendors are setting up, and you can feel what a good vibe this place brings. If you're looking for a good souvenir to take home from Lithuania, keep in mind they're really famous and well known for the quality amber they produce. So maybe you want to go ahead and get a cool souvenir that has some amber on it. Right over here we have a small like little flea market action. They're about to start setting up shop. Just get things underway. You can see lots of jewelry and amber right over here to my left. All kinds of cool little stands that, well, if you're just walking around, you want to take a piece of Lithuania home from you, you might want to shop from these locals out here. It's a really cool spot. It's going to get a little busier, but yeah, very interesting, and they got lots of good stuff. Yeah, well, I stopped off at one of the vendors, and you know I gotta go ahead and support the local community. So I got this sweet Lithuania patch, and I got this Vilnius magnet. Pretty cool. I'm gonna give that to the Choi family. Let's keep moving on. All right, so when you get to the end of Peel Street, it kind of opens up into another little section, and you can see over here off to my right, that big building right here, that is the city hall. And let's go ahead and get a little bit closer, and I'll give you a look at what their city hall looks like. Bit of a more modern structure, but still a really impressive building right here, and smack dab at the middle of Old Vilnius is the city hall building. But what I really like about Old Vilnius is the old streets, the alleys, the dark corners, and I saw one over here, and let's go explore down there. Look at this building. Isn't that really cool? I love all the vibrant purple flowers that are hanging outside each window, and the contrast against this yellow building really gives it a nice look. But we're gonna head down this little street right here. This street here reminds me of when I was in Riga, Latvia, and their old town. And if you haven't seen that video, I'll go ahead and throw a card up there right now. You can check it out, but really narrow. The streets have rocks and stones on them. Just a really cool street to explore. I was here the other day, Balzac. Wow, look at this guy. He's skateboarding on these stones. Pretty impressive. What I really like about Lithuania is down each little street you have, well, you have these like little openings, and you can see there's one across here, and I'm standing just outside one, and they kind of go underneath all the housing, the building that's above, and then they open up to a courtyard where you can kind of go in through the back door to your apartment, to your house, or whatever. Just a really unique style of living, very interesting, and you're gonna see it all over this old town. One of the things I really like about Old Town Vilnius is their attention to detail. Even these like manholes that they have here for the sewer workers, check it out, it's even labeled Vilnius. So it's little details like that that really give this city a nice touch and, well, make it a little more interesting than it already is. Vilnius is so cool and interesting. And you're gonna notice a lot of these like little balconies on a lot of the buildings. Kind of reminded me of Romeo and Juliet and that, well, that Renaissance period of Europe that we're, you know, you can just imagine being back a couple hundred years ago, and then, you know, people hanging out, having a cafe, or I don't know, just something about being in this old town in this city, and just kind of brings back a lot of, well, historical kind of vibe to it. All right, now I stand at an important section, a crossroads, if you will, of Old Town. And if you look over here where that little bridge is right there, And that little area over there, that is considered Uzpils, and it is more of an artistic community where they've actually started their own republic. Yep, that's right, their own country. And I'm gonna go ahead and show you that next week. If you stay tuned and watch that video, it's really cool, it's interesting, it's a vibe of bohemians and artists and people of all kinds of, well, creative stuff that kind of live by their own code, and they have their own set of laws. And well, stay tuned, I'll go ahead and show it to you next week.